What's up, Wargamers? Welcome back to World of Wargaming. I'm Isaiah. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe button for me. We're going to be taking a look at these German E-boats today. This is the S100. We're also going to be doing the S38. But the colors, except for the very last step, are pretty much the exact same. I've primed this black and then used my airbrush to put a base coat of Castle Gray from the Army Painter on it. Now, my guns are magnetized. I love the fact that I can swivel them to establish arcs of fire. It just makes me very, very, very happy to be able to do that. You don't have to do that. If you're not going to do that, maybe leave the guns off before you paint it, because it is a little bit easier to paint the deck and those parts with the guns not attached to the boat. Once we have those two coats down, our next move is going to be to use some Eschen Gray from Games Workshop, and we're going to paint that just across the deck. Now, on the S100, this boat with the wooden docks, the very outsides don't need to be painted. They need to stay the Castle Gray color. I made that mistake and had to go back and fix it. With our deck thoroughly swabbed with that Eschen Gray, our next play is going to be to paint the windows as well as the explosive heads on the torpedoes with black. I'm going to be using matte black from the Army Painter, but any old black that you happen to have laying around will work. Pretty much everything on this boat that I'm brushing by hand, I'm going to be using this kind of medium to small liner brush. Next move is going to be to do the wood details, which I'm going to use a Mournfang Brown from the Citadel range, as well as the small exhaust pipe at the back side of the ship, which we'll be doing with Doom Bull Brown. I'm also going to take this opportunity to clean up some stray marks with the Castle Gray from when I painted the deck. Also wanted to mention that with the windows, you could just as easily go in with a micro pen and black them out that way. All right, with those details painted, next step is going to be some edge highlights. Now, for all the ships, we're going to use the same color. We're going to use Spaceship Exterior from the Army Painter. And best to mix that with just a little bit of Lamian Medium, sorry. To smooth it down, make sure it runs smooth. Anytime I do edge highlights on long lines like this, I like to use a legitimate liner brush. It just makes the whole job so much easier. When painting, best tool for the job. With the edge highlighting done, I just want to quickly mention that with your edge highlights, don't be too precious with it. You can always go back later and thin it down, fix it up with your original base color. But with those done, we're going to move on to the main parts of the torpedo and the fun part of the gun. We're going to use gunmetal from the Army Painter to knock that out. Okay, with all the metal bits painted, we've got one more step on the S38 and two more steps on the S100s. For both of them, we're going to take some Agrax Earthshade and give the metal bits a good washing to knock a little bit of that shine off. Now, if you wanted to here, you could absolutely wash down the entire model. Given the size of the models at 1 to 300 scale, I prefer to keep mine a little bit cleaner, but that's just my personal aesthetic. If you want to slop it down with Earthshade, I will never ever say no to anyone else doing that. Get after it. Whatever makes you happy. They're your models. Paint them the way you want them to be painted. And with that little bit of wash, our S38s are done. Time to knock out this last little bit on the S100s, and this flotilla is ready to sail. To do this kind of tiger stripe-ish camo pattern, we're going to be using a mix of the Fang and Thousand Suns Blue, mixing heavily on the Thousand Suns Blue side, maybe a 60-40, 70-30, somewhere along those lines. We just want to use the Fang to pull the tone on that Thousand Suns Blue back just a little bit from being quite so bright. With these types of camo patterns, it's generally best to establish overall direction for the pattern. So you keep most of your shapes moving on that slant and in that direction, with a couple offset going the other way just to break it up and randomize the pattern a little. All of the painting done, all of the guns reattached on their swivel and ready to make with the bang bang, this Kriegsmarine flotilla is ready to take to the cruel seas. And that does it for this World of Wargaming Cruel Seas painting tutorial. Here's all the colors that I used in one place. Thank you for checking out the content. If you found it helpful or enjoyed it, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button for me. Hope you have a great day. Happy painting. May the dice be ever in your favor.